Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Henk, and in today's video I thought we'd take a look at the New Zealand Top 50 and what's been happening to the market during the entirety of the lockdown period. So New Zealand has first announced their level 4 lockdown on the 25th of March, which is around here, and since the 25th of March, the businesses have been forced to shut their doors, and basically people need to isolate themselves from everyone else. And this period corresponds for the number of weeks that we were in the level 4 lockdown. And since the level 4 lockdown was announced, the New Zealand Top 50 market has been in a slow but steady climb all the way up to around the $2.80 mark. And all of this has been happening while all the shops have been shut and there's significantly less economic activities going on. Now in my some of my other videos I have mentioned the possible reasons for that, which include the fact that government has been providing various stimulus packages for businesses and personal household to help keep the economy afloat. And also due to the low interest rate, the bond market is simply not as enticing. So in the situation where there's pretty much no houses being sold, so people can't invest in real estate, the bond market is not that enticing. There is a significant amount of people that choose to invest in stocks. Now, right around this period is when the first announcement that level 3 was going to happen. So as soon as the level 3 was announced that it's going to be occurring in about 2 weeks time from there, the market immediately started a decline after the news was announced. On the 27th of April, New Zealand has officially entered into level 3. And for the entirety of level 3, not much has really happened within the stock market. Basically, it was just bouncing around this range for the entirety of level 3. And on the 13th of May, New Zealand has moved into level 2. By the time that we have reached level 2, a lot of the shops has begun to open once again, which include many of the hospitality businesses and a lot of businesses in the malls. While we still were not able to have large congregations, essentially for the majority of people, life is relatively back to normal. So this happened in level 2. So around level 2, we had a slow period of bouncing around, and the market started climbing as we approached the release of the news of whether we were going to go back into level 1. So on the 8th of June, which is where this line is, New Zealand has officially moved into level 1, which is basically you are allowed to have unlimited amount of people gathering, and all shops pretty much are open within New Zealand and operating as usual. Now the only thing that still hasn't occurred is the international travels. So pretty much at level 1 we had no active cases of the disease, and pretty much for most people everything is just back to normal. And immediately the day after the level 1, the markets begin selling off, and the sell-off has currently continued. Now this has echoed the common sentiment in the stock market, where people would buy into the rumors and then they would actually sell when the actual news breaks, like when level 3 is announced and when level 1 is announced. Now the real important question is what is going to happen next, and where does the market go from here? Will the market be suddenly bouncing back up, or are we going to continue on seeing more downtrends? There are 3 things that you should really consider. And the first one is to find out whether you're a speculator or an investor. First off, we have the speculators. So speculators tend to invest in hot companies that people are very interested in, and they don't have a particular plan of when to buy in or when to sell. And they normally look at companies in more of a short-term point of view. Now, a good way to tell whether if you are a speculator is to imagine if the stock goes down 50% the very next day, and consider how you would feel about it. Would you have a really strong urge to sell the particular stock because you have no idea exactly what is going to happen next? If you have this type of uncertainty and this type of feeling, then you are a speculator for the particular stock. On the other hand, we have investors. Investors look to invest in good, stable companies with positive cash flows, and they generally take a long-term view of owning a company stock. So let's take a similar example. If the stock goes down by 50% the very next day, and you are an investor of the particular company stock, you would more likely to say, wow, that is such a bargain price. I know the company will for sure recover in the future, and the short-term downfall is a perfect time for you to pick up more stocks of the same company. Now, if you are able to hold this view for a particular company, you can be considered as an investor. The second thing to consider is to take some profits off the table. If the companies that you own has been doing quite well during the most recent rally, but are either riddled with debt or don't have a particular long-term outlook. A possible example of this would be something like airline stocks or tourism stocks. Now, obviously, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen in the future because no one really knows. And finally, the third thing to consider is to load up more on good profit-generating companies when the market has pulled back so that you can get them at a more discounted price. And again, I have videos on how to search for a good company, so be sure to check out those if you haven't already. A month or two ago, I made a video talking about what might happen to the New Zealand top 50 during this rally. So what I said was that the market may go up back in a V-shaped recovery, or it might bounce around a bit and then drop, or it might go down straight away. So what has actually happened is the market bounced around a bit, went up, and then now are starting slowly to come back down again. Now, I'm gonna keep to my original game plan, which is to look for more of a buying price around this area. So again, I'm still bearish at the moment, so I'm gonna look in for more buying opportunities around this region to load up on more stocks. And that's it for this video. It's a little bit shorter, and I hope to see you in the next one.